how United States empire is crumbling under its own pressure, as elites have alienated Russia, the third great power, which could have been a great ally if they were being included inside NATO earlier. Now China is on the verge of overtaking the United States in so many domains, which is already the case as China is leading in so many manufacturing sectors of advanced technologies like new energy vehicles, solar industries, wind turbines. The rare earths that are being used in batteries, wind turbines are being dominated by Chinese companies almost to a monopoly. And this is not surprising because United States elites gave Chinese a big handshake in the last 40 years, of which they are waking up to a big realization that China might be taking them over. As Chinese influence has grown throughout the world, be it through ambitious projects like Belt and Road Initiative, trades with countries. Similarly, their soft power also have increased tremendously given the Chinese influence worldwide. And they have invested heavily on mega projects, ports to secure China's long-term planning of achieving supremacy economically, not in any other terms. Unlike the United States, who heavily is involved in endless wars, sucking up trillions of dollars on the backs of American citizens, wreaking havoc around the globe to sustain its empire. Now, this is not a surprise in and of itself, because with so much of population and land mass, as well as educated top elite population going throughout Western universities and companies learning from there and coming back to China, and then Chinese government is very much inclined to help prop up industries by giving heavy subsidies to those companies. In the last 10-15 years, when you look at the growth of Chinese companies, especially electric vehicles, solar industry, technology giants like Huawei, TikTok, we see where they are heading and why Chinese people support Chinese Communist Party wholeheartedly. And majority of Chinese population, almost more than 90%, support Chinese Communist Party and where the country is heading. And they are very much positive about future prospect. And China is still a developing country, a middle income country, unlike the West. The surprising thing about United States is the political cabal and capitalist elite did not hold back when China was already making mark in the global arena, buying US farmlands, trading with so many countries, and trade surpluses. You can see China is almost trade surplus positive with so many countries. And the United States, on the other hand, is a debt-fueled economy waiting to collapse under its own weight, because its financial system, its monetary policy is all rigged to the top 1%. And American people are losing hope by the day. And Trump's election may be a new hope given the divide that there is to take American economy into the track. But signs and symptoms are not that positive as recession is looming on the horizon, with so much of debt being collected, whether it is credit card debt, student loan debt, treasury debt, almost costing US taxpayers $1 trillion to service those debts. Now, when you look at the characteristics of these two countries, they are very much different and very similar in terms of free market capitalism. But the United States is bullying others not to practice free trade, as they are now starting to lose faith on free market, because other countries, especially China, is winning that big times. That's why trade and tariff war has been the subject of consecutive US governments since Trump to control the rise of China. And this is not a surprise. Empires always behave like empires, and they see threat on the rise of other nations. And this is all fear-based. Nobody should be afraid of China rising, let alone United States, because Chinese always admire United States. And United States helped China reach this stage, and maybe later they will overtake United States as a great superpower with great economy and great military power. But that does not mean they will go and invade world like United States. That would be the least priority that Chinese held, as they know wars are not solution, but they are the cause of so many problems. And with long history of their civilization, almost 4,000 years old, they have gone through so many tumultuous times, trials and tribulations, occupation and colonization. and they are starting very slowly to emerge out of that trap of hunger, desperation. And at this juncture in time, Chinese people are enjoying their best ever life, which is only going to increase the standard of living in the coming future. This does not mean United States will be second grade power or they will lower their standard of living, which by the way China has no part in. It is the only United States cabal that runs the show are inclined to make profits out of misery of the people. For example, you can say COVID crisis was a big misery on people's front, but at the same time big businesses grew rapidly at that time. Normal people suffered inflation afterwards, while the rich people they don't care about inflation nor the misery of the American people. They just gain from energy crisis, health emergency, housing crisis, market crisis, financial crisis, so many things, because their system is designed to protect them while neglecting the mass.